In July 1981, Britain was getting ready for the greatest national spectacle since the coronation. But if, as the saying goes, the past is a foreign country, then few would actually choose to visit early 80s Britain.
Birmingham's after dark scenes, lush, plush, and there's not much hush.
The food could be a little ornate. The Wi-Fi was non-existent, and the exchange rate eye-watering. So it's small surprise that escapism was the order of the day. And one phrase above all was on everybody's lips.
We'd love her to look like a fairy princess.
It's a fairy tale. It's beautiful.
It's like fairyland, you know.
It was a fairy tale of marrying your prince and overcoming darkness. And people were ready to buy into it because the 70s had been so tough.
16 reigning monarchs, scores of heads of state, and Nancy Reagan had jetted in for the only show in town.
When else would I ever have a chance to see a royal wedding in my lifetime? And this is the first one of this kind, as I understand it, in, 112 years?
And thousands poured into London to secure their spot for the following day's fun.
Miss Jones, how long have you been here? You're planning to stay all night?
Yes.
On the eve of their wedding, the bride and groom made a final TV appearance, recorded shortly after Diana had learned of Charles's ongoing friendship with Camilla Parker Bowles.
With all these heavy responsibilities and these public duties that you're both going to have, you're going to have time for the private life, for making a home.
You're the one with the domestic
Are you looking forward
responsibilities.
to making a home at Highgrove, for example?
Oh, yes, very much so. Looking forward to being a good wife.
And Prince Charles has been a great help to you in that
Oh,
relationship.
a tower of strength.
Gracious.
I have to say that because you're sitting there.
I'm sure you would anyway.
Only days before, Diana later revealed, she told her sisters she wanted to pull out. Well, bad luck, Dutch, they had said. Your face is on the tea towels, so you're too late to chicken out.
Thank you very much.
As dusk fell, and with just a few hours now left until the ceremony would begin, tens of thousands made their way to central London for a fireworks display.
David Cox checks the giant Catherine wheel because his job's the hottest job of the night. It's 35 feet across, and he's turning that wheel by hand. And as it turned out, life got very uncomfortable for him.
I'm exhausted, very hot, and I'm burnt slightly.
Burnt?
Yeah.
Where?
I've got heat burns on my hands and on my neck.
I mean, I was aware that, you know, the wedding was going to happen. But it really didn't mean that much to me at all.
Not everyone in the country was joining in the celebrations. In Toxteth, after a period of calm, there was a devastating finale to the race riots that had started a month earlier, witnessed by Jimmy Jagney, then a 17-year-old apprentice electrician.
The general perception seemed to be that, you know, this was a case of hooligans gone wild. This angered us a great deal because we realised that, you know, despite all the lengths that we'd gone to be heard, you know, we weren't being listened to. The thing that got me most of all, I guess, was just seeing the flames everywhere. You know, all of these buildings burning. You don't really appreciate what it is to see a building on fire until you've seen several on fire at the same time.
Violence turned to tragedy when police struck down a 23-year-old disabled man, David Moore, who died in hospital in the early hours of the morning.
It was clear right there and then that he'd been hurt really bad. And that fact alone made it shocking, but to see him actually struck by a police vehicle that swerved towards him as well, well, that was the most shocking thing, I guess.
Britain that night was a tale of two nations.
Piccadilly at 1:30 a.m. saw tens of thousands already making for the wedding route. The crowd around Buckingham Palace at 2 a.m. Not a quiet night for Prince Charles inside or for Lady Diana 200 yards further up the Mall.
She'd been put in a room at Clarence House facing the Mall so she could hear everybody, all the crowds gathering and chatting away. She's trying to get some sleep. And of course, as soon as she put her head down, the fireworks exploded. What exacerbated the situation was the fact that she was very nervous about what was going to happen. She felt that her future husband didn't really love her. She had tried just a few days before to stop the wedding. So she felt very much out of control.
Well, the big day has arrived. In 4 hours' time, Charles Philip Arthur George Mountbatten Windsor marries Diana Frances Spencer. Britain and the world will celebrate the wedding of the Prince and Princess.
And the wedding day weather, it'll be sunny in London and rain looks...
Around 600,000 people took to the streets for their piece of the fairy tale.
Well, it's the atmosphere. It's a piece of history in the making, really. It's nice to be part of it.
Well, what made you come up here today?
The atmosphere.
Oh,
to get away from this horrible recession.
Well, there they go. Like everybody else, I got caught up in the excitement of the wedding. I mean, I really did. I mean, it was my first royal wedding.
In 1981, the average cost of a wedding was around £1,000. Those choreographing this wedding had a glass carriage to play with and real-life footmen. Above all, though, it was the dress, with its £13,000 price tag, that worked hardest to transform 20-year-old Diana into a fantasy.
And here she rustles down in parchment silk, and every knowing eye alights on the veil and the full skirt puffed out like a crinoline.
The circumstances were bound to ruin the dress because they should have known that she was going to be in a tiny little carriage with her father. It was a joke, and when they unravelled 40 metres of taffeta, no, that was really excessive. It really was.
And those who know nothing of fashion just know how great she looks.
It's not what I would have designed. You know, but I think it was right for the times. You know, it was very big and very important. And a lot of train.
Yes, she wanted this very grand dress, but at the same time, this thing, I mean, it's like something out of a museum case.
Diana Frances.
The thing weighed a ton. You could see it was very uncomfortable to wear. The sense that you're almost upholstered rather than dressed. And that is that tradition that you put those robes on, and from that moment, you are someone else, and there are different rules that apply to you and different demands of you. That's the world she stepped into.
My lasting memory of the day's events is that as the royal family and Lord Spencer come out of St Paul's Cathedral, they're standing there watching Prince and Princess go off in their carriage, and suddenly old Spencer points up to the sky and says, you can lip read him saying, look at the airship. And they sort of look up, and in the background you can hear this hum and this buzz and everything. And he goes, I was kind of, really pleased when it landed.